Well, a story that's slightly different. I've been contacted here by Samantha. The story is quite interesting, and it involves leaving a car at the airport in the car park, which sounds like what most people do. But your story is quite complicated, and I'll do a little bit, and then you help me out.
Okay.
You put the car in there, long term, you went away, but you didn't come back as planned, and that was nothing to do with whatever this thing. So the car sat there for a long time.
Yep.
It's registered in the Isle of Man. In that time, you were sent letters to your Isle of Man address, but that's because you were there. You didn't actually know what was going on.
I've not received any letters, no.
And when you do finally come back to the Isle of Man, your car is not in the car park, and that is just the beginning of the story, because it seems that the car was then auctioned and sold, and yet it still had tax
Yep.
and insurance.
Yep.
And that's a bit. As soon as I heard that bit, that pricked my ears up, because I didn't think anyone could do anything with any cars while they still had a licence and insurance, because many people leave cars on roads all over the Isle of Man, and the police always say to me, we can't touch it until that runs out. So you can pick up the story, and I asked that we don't go into names as such, but
Okay.
DOI own the car park, I assume. That's part of the airport, right?
Yeah.
And somebody somewhere made the decision to actually break into your car.
Yeah, so they've drilled through the driver's door lock to get in. In the boot was all my stuff, all my Gore-Tex jackets and beach stuff and deck chair and my art stuff. All that has been removed from the car. Basically, the manager of the Ronaldsway Airport was really helpful. I arrived from Manchester last night, and he walked the length of all the car parks with me searching for the car, and he said that no car had been registered, that it had been removed, my car registration, and that is the procedure, that if any car is removed, that they get notification. So yeah, he recommended I put something on Facebook, and within a couple of hours, it is the Isle of Man. The person who had bought this car at auction last Saturday had been in touch. He understands the situation. He understands that I've been off island, that it's a car that I imported to the Isle of Man. I've put it through all the Manx testing. It's also, which is the most upsetting bit, is that it's my mum's cherished number plate, who has sadly passed away. But I've had so I eventually got the bus back to Peel, and there was a stack of letters from the coroner saying about parking tickets and fines, but no explanation that the next step was that my car was going to be sold. So the airport have denied all knowledge. They were unaware that this has happened. Yeah, I'm just absolutely flabbergasted, really.
I mean, at your address, you found all these letters, but nothing said it was going to be sold. It was all about just, you've overstayed your welcome?
Nothing said, we've got to the point now where we need to recover our costs and we're going to sell the car. There was nothing of that. It was contact us to pay the fines. So yeah, it's just,
I mean, maybe people
quite shocking, really.
Sure, people probably do dump cars there. They dump them all over the Isle of Man. But again, it seems strange, although it's probably, is it private property or whatever? I don't know what you call it there. But the fact is, it's been sold without your knowledge, and you have nothing for it, I suppose. I mean, that the money, when it was sold, where did that end up?
So the car has been sold for, I would say, a lot more than the fines that were outstanding. So no one has contacted me to say that the car has now been sold and that there's excess funds that need to be returned to me. There's no returning of my items.
You had items in the car that have gone, have they?
That have gone, yeah. So my Gore-Tex jackets, all that stuff was all in the boot.
Have you had any explanation about where they are?
No, nothing. No one has. All I've had are the letters to say that these are the fines. Yeah. This has now gone to the coroners, and they've got their fines or whatever they add on to it. That's the only correspondence I've had. I've spoken to the police, and the police said the vehicle is still registered in my name. I've got the keys, I've got the logbook, the car's taxed, insured.
Right. Sounds to me that somebody hasn't quite got the right protocol maybe on this, and certainly you want recompense, I'm guessing. I mean, can you get the car back? The person who bought it is actually happy, isn't he?
The person who has bought the car understands the situation and I think feels very uncomfortable that this has happened really behind my back. He wants his money back from the auction house. The auction house is saying that they've been authorised by the Department of Infrastructure on the Isle of Man. Obviously, I arrived after office hours on a Friday night, so I'm presuming that someone will contact me Monday morning. But yeah, it's just a big mess. I want the car back, but more than anything than the car, I want my mum's cherished number plate.
Sure. And they had to drill into the car in the first place, because they haven't got the keys, right? So there's been damage to that car.
So there's damage to the car. But basically, if I hadn't have arrived yesterday, the new owners were going to get new keys programmed, which would cost them money. They were asking, can we not just try and get in touch with the owner to see if we can get the keys? And for some reason that wasn't progressed.
It is an incredible story, and I don't know if you're the only one that this happened to. Maybe other people have got a similar story, but until the tax runs out, it's still, it's all legal as far as I can see. Besides that, you've overstayed your car park.
Yeah, which I'm not denying. That obviously there are fines for the. Apparently, it's termed as I was parked incorrectly. But I have been told that this has happened to other vehicles.
Oh, really?
That on the same day that my vehicle went through the auction, a motorbike went through the same day, and there's been several other cars.
Right. Okay, well, DOI the coroner's obviously involved. I presume the coroners did all that processing. Someone told them to do it.
Yeah.
But presumably, I may be wrong, but DOI presumably somewhere in there had to give that instruction.
That authorisation. And also, I am not resident on the Isle of Man. So although we have got a property that was left to us when my mum sadly passed away, and the vehicle was to use when I came over to see my mum, and obviously we're going to leave it over here. But I don't know where else we can park because the house is in Peel and there's nowhere to park long term. We've never been away for a period as long as this. So it's been about 6 months. But wherever I would have left it, it sounds like they would have been sort of trying to tow it away and sell it.
Let's see what happens on Monday. We're recording this on Saturday.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll get some response. Maybe you can let us know where it's going, and it will be helpful for other people to know in future, won't it?
Yeah, and hopefully this won't happen to anyone else. But it's been quite shocking and really upsetting. I just couldn't believe that it wasn't on the car park, and neither could the manager of the airport. He said no vehicle has been towed from that registration. So yeah, it's been quite complicated. Yeah.